attention span of a firefly is about 6 seconds. So the average attention span of a human being is less than firefly. So we live in a world where everybody is seeking attention.
Do you really think the consumer goes ahead with the trend, or do they really go ahead with their needs?
Today I want to have lasagna. You can't make me eat biryani. No matter how trendy you are.
Namaste and hello everyone. Welcome to the Change Makers, India's first food and nutraceutical industry podcast. On today's shows, we have Dr. Yashwant Kumar, who is the founder and CEO of Benefic Nutrition. He's also ex-Nestle, ex-PepsiCo and ex-Almarai, ex-Cadbury. He brings a lot of experience with him. More of it, what I like about him is the way he conveys his message, the impactful messages he brings to the industry whenever I've heard him personally. It's about our first show. We are so excited to have you here. I think let's start the show and let's start first with what do you think about this concept of the change makers bringing into the nutraceutical industry, who is going to connect B2B, B2C and D2C with consumers?
First of all, congratulations, Madhuri, for starting Change Makers with Madhuri, Nutraceuticals first of its kind podcast. And truly, it is first of its kind. Because as you are a good friend, and I met you at conferences many times. And at conferences, when we meet people from our industry, and we only get like 10 minutes, 20 minutes to hear from them.
Right.
We can never, somebody like me, I want to share so many things, go very deep into a specific topic, and want to be probed with some really tough questions so we can look at industry, how this industry can go from 6 billion industry to 100 billion industry. You heard me speak in many conferences. Yes. That's something I've been talking about. So because when the industry becomes big, everybody has a pie to eat. Right. When the industry is not growing, no matter your innovation, etc., they all become kind of redundant because the industry itself is not growing. So the industry has to grow, and we need to hear from people from different walks of life what they think industry is and where their role is, what changes they want to see, and also what success stories they have.
Right.
A lot of startups also can look at this podcast and get some ideas from the veterans. I don't call myself a veteran, but I'm still far away from it. There are people that I admire. For example, maybe one day you'll get Sanjay Mariwala, or a lot of big names that I want to hear what their thought process. And truly, for nutraceuticals or supplements or daily nutrition, there isn't a podcast which is dedicated for that. So it's actually first of its kind. For me, Change Makers does three things. Number one, it brings people that probably we never heard before. A lot of untold stories, number one. Number two, it gives the platform for people to go very deep into the subjects of nutraceuticals. And I can give an example. A lot of people don't even know what is nutraceutical. Some of my investors ask me, what is nutraceutical? Yes. So that's the kind of issues that we have. And I wish you all the best. And this is need of the hour. I'm not saying because you're here. Definitely a platform like this is a need of the hour, because now we're going from 6 billion to 20 billion to 30 billion, 50 billion. But we want to hear how it is happening. And I also think content from this podcast should become a study material for people, studying students, professors, academics, right. Even people who are like influencers who want to get into wellness space, people who want to get into gym trainers. So I think this is going to be very, very useful for many people from different walks of life.
Yes, you rightly said it. I think, thank you so much for inspiring words. So last when I was in the Ramaiah College, I went for a small talk. After my talk, I've seen students coming to me, rushing to me. They were coming up with some of the ideas. Some of them even brought the samples of some energy drinks and some cold drinks. They were actually, doing experiments with in their food technology lab and all. There, even in that moment, I felt like there is a lot to share in every space. When you say, whether you say students, whether you say research institutes, how do they reach out to the right industry experts who can accelerate it further? That's where I think the change makers
A lot of people
is
don't
going
even
to,
know who are the industry experts. I think that's what this
yes,
podcast is going to
yes,
introduce.
yes. Because most of the time when you are in college, when I was in college, and maybe I was not aware of so many fields industry is actually catering to. We were just knowing of maybe professors or manufacturing. So, but here comes the change maker who is going to bring everyone from the industry, and we are going to tell you how they are connected, how your innovation, how your vision will be heard by the right person on this platform.
Hope you, not hope, I want you to do 100th episode. I'm going to come for the 100th episode, and I'm going to come for the 200th episode. You have to take it to a level that when you look back at this podcast, you say that's where it started. Let this be a seed which will not only bring change in the industry, it will also become a model for a lot of the podcast people. A lot of people like you who will then bring more experts, and there's more conversations happen in the industry. So all the very best for change makers. We are very, very sure this is going to bring a lot of changes in the industry. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Yash. There wouldn't be any better start than this. The intention behind bringing this podcast or the talk show is we want to bring all industry experts together in the show. We want to bring in experts from nutraceutical, from food, from B2B industries, from B2C, from D2C brands. Because we want your ideas, your innovations, your breakthrough products to be heard all over the world, not only in the industry but to the consumers. So whatever we are going to talk today, it's going to be really interesting for you. We're not only going to talk about the industry, but we are also going to talk about the consumers and how consumers, how industries, and how innovations, everything is connected, interconnected. Today's episode, when I was thinking of what to start with, we will start with our industry itself, food and nutraceutical industry, and we will try to connect it with the consumers because you are the one who is basically launching the brands, consumer brands, which are directly being catered to the consumers. So I think you're the right person in that intersection of industry as well as consumer. So in today's talk show, we are going to talk more about the food and nutraceutical industrial gaps. Are you excited?
Yeah, super excited.
Yes. I think if we start with the question answers, it's going to be more interesting and exciting. So I'll be asking few questions. I think then you can take it ahead with your stories and with your examples, whatever, so that our audience get convinced with the answers more. Okay. So first, what we are going to target is the brand reach and consumer awareness. And now, before we move to this, I want you to explain us how a product gets, developed at the lab, then manufacturing, then marketing, then branding, and then the consumer. I want to just you to briefly explain how this channel works or how this chronology works.
So a fantastic question. I'm glad you asked this. If you go to Amazon, Amazon says sell products that people are looking for.
Right.
That is actually very apt. So as D2C brand, I don't consider us as a D2C, B2B, B2C. I think there's a lot of people. I was talking to IIT people the other day and I told, why are we making it complex? End of the day, it is human to human. Right. I call it as H to H. Because whether it is a B2B, B2C, you always say there is a human to human. So right. One set of humans are making a particular product or a service for the benefit of other set of humans who are consumers. So one set of humans who make it, we call them as manufacturers or innovators, all kind of fancy names. There is same time, we're also consumers, don't forget that. That's why I call it as H to H. So let this podcast be the one which will make this H to H. It's a human to human. Then you bring it to the minute details, the D2C, B2B, etc. But end of the day, the way you start is, what is the problem you're solving? That's the first question. Is that problem big enough to solve? Because you need a scale. I'll tell you, for example, if somebody says, yes, hair loss is a big problem. Not about time. You know it's very big and it's getting worse. Somebody looks at that and says, how do I solve it? They'll say, oh, I'll make some biotin tablets. Or somebody can say, I'll make gummies. or somebody says I'll make a lotion. There is enough scope because it's a big country in India, 1.4 billion people, 140 crore people. You at least have 15 to 20 crore people who are actual consumers or who can purchase this product. So you've got a large pool of people with that kind of a problem. Second, you look at it, what is the best way to make it?
Right.
So when you know what is a product, what is a problem, then you say what is the format that you want to do it, what format works. If you make it in a tablet or capsule, the generation today don't take it.
Right.
That generation, my mother, grandmother, grandfather, that generation were very well accustomed to tablets and capsules. This generation want to look cool. They want to hold something cool.
Yeah.
They want, when you take it, and this is social stigma attached to it. If you take a capsule in an office space like this, they say, "Tabiyat theek hai kya?" So you don't want that kind of a stigma. So you want to make it so cool that they look, instead of having a Coke, they say, "I'm going to have a skin glow effervescent tablet. I'm going to have a, Shilajit energy bar or a gummy, which looks cool actually." Right. So you look at how the consumers are changing at this point in time, because every few years, my experience in Nestle, PepsiCo, we learned that consumers are changing every 2 to 3 years. Right. One generation goes, another generation comes. Right. Unless you keep yourself up to date with the changes, you cannot innovate. Just because you fall in love with your innovation doesn't mean the consumer, has to, fall in love. So don't get attached too much to your innovation. Always consumer is the king. Third, we look at the price point. If you make your product at a 2,000 rupee, 3,000 rupee, then the number of people who can purchase your product goes down. The volume goes down. When the volume goes down, your cost of manufacturing increases. So you've got to have a sweet spot where you get a volume and the price is perfect. Yeah. Whereas above 2,000, 3,000, you're going to very niche. So it is still evolving. I'm not saying it will not become big, but it's still evolving. But do you have the time to wait till the time? Then the fourth point is you got a product, your packaging. What do you say about your packaging? What do you communicate? The colors, touch, feel. A consumer when holds the product, that is actually the first experience. When we say in sensory language, in my experience with Nestle, PepsiCo, sensory is all 5 senses. A lot of people think it's taste. No, the way you look at the product, all 5 senses. The sound of wrapper, right? To when you touch something, what is the first impression? The ease of opening, closing. When you keep it on the shelf, does it look cool? All this plays a part in packaging. Packaging is very, very important. How it looks. Can it travel with you wherever you travel? So you got to make it more easy to carry. And then you take it to consumers, make them go, wow. How do you do that? You got to look at the attention span of a human being today. Attention span of a firefly is about 6 seconds. Today's average attention span of a human being is less than firefly. So we live in a world where everybody is seeking attention. You will not go to Instagram to buy a product. You'll go for Instagram to get entertainment. So when the feed is coming in the Instagram, it has to be either entertaining, highly engaging, maybe controversial, something to get their attention. First 5 seconds, if it doesn't hold, you lost it. Right. So that is the world we live in. You, despite all your fantastic product, you still need to know the language of communication that does first 5 seconds hold the key. Then the next part is supply chain. I want to buy this product. Is it available in Bangalore? I want it within 10 minutes. Today we live in convenience. If I say I'll order something that will come in 10 days, people will lose interest. Whereas if it is available in Blinkit or Zepto, or you get it. So instant gratification is the need of the hour. So you somehow have to find, even our own company, we used to do 3-4 days delivery time from our website. Today we are trying to, we already a few cities we have made it same day delivery. Because I'm saying, you buy my product, I want to give you instant gratification. Right. We live in that world. I want coffee, I want immediately. That thrill of getting a product quickly excites people. Right. And they know I can find this product everywhere. I can walk into MedPlus store, Apollo store. It's available. That brings trust. This is available everywhere means it must be a good product. So distribution is very, very important. Delivery of the product is very important. And then comes the after sale. A lot of people forget this. After buying, if they have a complaint, how do you address that? Customer has questions. The kind of questions they want to ask is, they will see the number they call. Isko kaisa lena hai? रात को लेना है, सुबह में लेना है, खाने के बाद लेना है, खाने के पहले लेना है. So these are questions people have. So you need to have a channel to guide them, tell them.
Right.
So questions like, I'm a lactating mother. Can I take glutathione? Very valid question. I'm having my periods. Should I take this adaptogen?
Right.
Is it going to cause imbalance to my periods? Because every woman will have this question. If I take this sleep product, is it going to become addiction? And I've been taking somebody, we have a sleep product, and somebody asked me, what if I take 10 of those? I said, yeah. So this kind of, curiosity questions they have,
Right.
because after sale, how do you communicate? So right from the word go, it is all about what is the problem you're solving. Can you solve it in today's time with all these aspects? And the last and most important thing is, why should they buy from you, not from others?
Right.
If you can answer this, people will give you their money.
Right.
You cannot say, I'm cheaper, probably it will work. You can say, my product is 100 times better than somebody, but you cannot say, there are two by me. That's not going to work. You got to be really having the trust,
Right.
saying why I am putting. So, for example, today's world, founder-driven content is taking more credibility than even very big popular stars.
Right.
And so, founders, entrepreneurs, are becoming far more popular now, which is a good thing, because the consumers want to hear from the guy who made the product.
Yes.
Then they trust more. And local languages. I speak a lot in Hindi these days. And I'm from Bangalore, but my Hindi has improved 10 times in the last 6 months, thanks to being traveling. And I love talking in Hindi. Unless I talk to them in Hindi in Kanpur, they will not even connect.
Right.
So the communication, what works in America doesn't work here. You've got to make it customized, localized. Even vernacular content also you have to focus, because somebody will not understand both Telugu and English. You have to make content in Telugu, Kannada, Marathi. You connect more with the local languages. When you say mom versus I, there is a whole lot of emotion. When I say amma versus I say mummy, I feel totally different emotion.
Right.
So you got to localize that content. We are Indians are very emotional. We like to hear a story and build it around it. So all together becomes what you get on your receptor, etc., and you pay the money. So you need to go through everything to get their money out of their pocket.
Right, right. I think you pretty much connected how this brands are traveling to the consumer right way, like how brand owners are communicating their messages to the consumer, how what way they should be communicating their message to the consumer, and you pretty much covered how many stakeholders are officially involved and unofficially also involved in this journey. I think that's a bit kind of exciting to know and interesting things, something we came to know today. I hope many of our audience will enjoy this content too. So since we started talking about consumers, I had another question. Do you think whenever any product comes to the market or on the websites or on the reels or on social media, do you really think the consumer goes ahead with the trend, or do they really go ahead with their needs and as per their awareness?
I think they definitely go with the needs.
Okay.
See, for example, today I want to have lasagna. You can't make me eat biryani. No matter how trendy you are, biryani could be trending, but my mind is saying I want to eat lasagna today or pasta today. You can never make me eat biryani today.
Right.
So today I am a vegetarian, for example, I will not eat. No amount of trend will work. So it is always the need. Second thing is, when a lot of people say, people get influenced and they get cheated and etc. I actually want to say something very controversial today. Don't underestimate consumers' intelligence. If this country, we can elect a prime minister, chief minister, all the politicians, we have been voting for last 75 years. People are so intelligent, they can choose their leader. Can they not choose their product for themselves? Please don't underestimate the intelligence of consumer. They don't go and buy because some influencer said something. They listen to everybody, but they will make a decision. I tell you how they make a decision. They'll call 3 or 4 of their friends who use the product and say, "Kaisa hai?"
Okay.
That's Indian way of doing it. Or they'll ask a neighborhood, no, auntie, weight loss hoga isme. So, they do the social proof in a very unstructured way, but they're very smart. So, consumers in India, you cannot underestimate. They've been choosing leaders. Why do we think they're not smart enough to choose what they want? Definitely, they're very, very smart. They know exactly what question to ask. They ask me very simple question. I mean, we are doing all kind of fancy words. They call me and say, ये काम करता है क्या? कितना दिन में काम करता है? To the point. See, they're very very
To the
clear.
point,
To the
right.
point. इसमें
Right.
कुछ साइड इफेक्ट है? ठीक है. कैश ऑन डिलीवरी है? कब मिल जाएगा? अगर अच्छा काम नहीं किया तो? This is it. That's it. You see the how specific they are. Everything else is irrelevant for them. So how do you answer? Yes, हमारे पास 95% रिजल्ट्स आ चुके हैं that it's working very well. काम करता है 4 weeks 5 weeks. Second thing you say इसमें there are no known side effects. Unless you have a medical condition, you check. Then you say, yeah, cash on delivery is available because you are a new company. They will not give you money directly. They want to see whether you're genuine or not. A lot of companies which are fake. You pay money, it never comes. I've been the victim myself. Then you have to tell them you can call us anytime. There's a phone line. Any
Yeah.
question you can ask. If you don't like the product, you can return it. So that's why in my company at Benefic, when I announced Benefic name and the vision of Benefic, I told we will make it 45 days money back guarantee.
Oh.
No question should be asked. If they say I don't like it, that's it. Everybody together creates the awareness. That is how this industry is going to become 6 billion to 20 billion because more awareness, more demand.
Right.
More demand, more innovation.
Right.
More innovation, there is far more awareness because excitement about that industry.
Right, right. I think we are slowly coming from consumer to marketing to brands, how they're interconnected and all. When you said like authority or responsibility or as a brand company, what do you think like all brands, the labels they put on their products, how much transparent they are nowadays in this market, and how do a consumer finds out whether the ingredient they have used is right?
Thank you for watching first episode of The Changemakers with Madhuri, and I believe you must have enjoyed listening to us, watching us, sharing a lot of stories and insights about the industry and the consumer brands. Special thanks to Dr. Yashwant Kumar. I think he conveyed his message rightly through his storytelling. So stay tuned for the next episode because we are bringing rapid fire segment with a lot of energy, insights and excitement. So next one is not just information but adrenaline rush. Thank you.